Hello guys, welcome back to the Brutal Investor channel. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day today. In this episode, I was basically thinking of covering a large market cap token, which is also one of my favorite tokens, and I think this token has incredibly high potential in the future. And one of the main reasons why I wanted to cover this token was that I came across this article where again, if you want to read through this article, you can do it yourself. It's interesting-facts.com/Cardano Coin facts, where I came across this article which talks about some of the most interesting facts, which I would also like to share with you guys today. And when I saw this, I was really like, again, my interest in Cardano which was already high, only became higher, right? So since Cardano is one of the biggest market cap cryptocurrencies in the market right now, I'm pretty sure that most of you guys are already familiar with what Cardano is and what it does. But for the few of you who are not really familiar with what Cardano does, or if you're thinking of buying Cardano and if you're not really sure what the background of Cardano is, then I'll kind of take some time to go through the coin market caps page for Cardano so that you can have a better understanding by the end of this video on what it is and what it does, right? So what is Cardano, or the ADA token, right? Cardano is a proof of stake blockchain platform that says its goal is to allow change makers, innovators and visionaries to bring about positive global change. So again, it's a proof of stake cryptocurrency blockchain. Just like any other blockchain, it's a project that has its own blockchain and its own token, and it works on the proof of stake consensus mechanism, unlike the proof of work that Bitcoin has and Ethereum 1.0 has currently. Proof of stake is much more efficient, much more scalable, and much more faster when it comes to processing, as well as low transaction fees. And their main goal is to allow for change makers, innovators and visionaries to bring about positive global change. Again, positive global change could be very vague, but in the words of Charles Hodgkinson, who's basically the co-founder or founder of Cardano in this regard, he basically wants Cardano to be the true form of currency that brings people, especially people who are living below the means of poverty, or below below their basic means necessary to live, out of the poverty zone, right? And to bring stability to places that doesn't have financial stability. So that's basically the main goal of Cardano. The open source project also aims to redistribute power from unaccountable structures to the margins, to the individuals, helping to create a society that is more secure, transparent and fair. So again, it's an open source cryptocurrency that helps to focus on redistributing power back to the individuals, just like many other cryptocurrency projects that has come after it, and helps to bring more benefits to the society in a secure, transparent and fair manner, right? Cardano was founded back in 2017, and the ADA token is designed to ensure that owners can participate in the operation of the network. Because of this, those who hold the cryptocurrency have the right to vote on any proposed changes to the software. So again, people who hold Cardano are able to participate in the ecosystem and kind of guide the project to a brighter future, right? Since it's one of the most oldest cryptocurrency projects that was founded back in 2017, it has developed a very strong and unique community that are extremely positive with regards to the future of Cardano, even though Cardano doesn't really fully have a functioning ecosystem yet, right? But that's going to change by the end of this year, and that's really exciting because the Cardano community is eagerly awaiting the smart contracts functionality for Cardano to go live, which can happen by the end of this year anytime soon, right? So the team behind the layered blockchain say that there have already been some compelling use cases for its technology, which aims to allow decentralized apps and smart contracts to be developed with modularity. So again, the team behind Cardano, which includes Charles Hoskinson, states that they basically are finding a lot of compelling use cases with the technology itself, and this technology will basically allow for decentralized dApps as well as smart contracts to be developed with a unique modularity that can't be seen anywhere else, right? Cardano is used by agricultural companies to track fresh produce from field to fork, while other products built on the platform allow educational credentials to be stored in a tamper-proof way and retailers to clamp down on counterfeit goods. Again, even though Cardano has been criticized to be one of the most delayed projects in the crypto space, it's still functional in the sense where people are still using it. It's just that nobody is realizing it or talking about it, right? So as stated here, Cardano is used by agricultural companies to track produce, fresh produce, the moment it leaves the field all the way to your fork in your dinner table, right? And apart from the agricultural applications of Cardano, you can also store educational credentials within the Cardano blockchain, which is obviously decentralized and therefore nobody can tamper with it. And retailers can basically use Cardano's technology to clamp down on any counterfeit goods in order to authenticate their products. So again, there are use cases with Cardano which are not necessarily well publicized, but it's still currently used by several organizations, and especially when it comes to agriculture, education, as well as retailers, right? So now we're going to talk about the founders of Cardano. Again, this is not going to be a surprise to many of you guys because, again, Charles Hoskinson has been the face of Cardano and everybody knows about him. But for people who don't know, Cardano was founded by Charles Hoskinson, who was also one of the co-founders of the Ethereum network. He is the CEO of IOHK, which is Input Output Hong Kong, the company that built Cardano's blockchains. Again, Cardano has a very interesting history where its founder was also the co-founder of the Ethereum network. So Charles kind of knows the ins and outs of the Ethereum ecosystem, and he also is a very smart person in the sense that he can basically figure out solutions that Ethereum lacked, and that information can be modified or included in the Cardano blockchain, and that's basically what makes Cardano very unique, right? So just so you guys know, Ethereum had not only Charles as its co-founder, but also Dr. Gavin Wood, who is, as you guys know, is the founder of the Polkadot and Kusama blockchains. So it's very interesting because Charles, Dr. Gavin Wood, as well as Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin, all three of them are trying to solve the same problem but with different directionality. So I believe when people ask me what kind of smart contract blockchain will succeed and they ask me to choose one, I kind of like tell them that there's no one project, there's no one size that fits all, right? Because if you see, even recently, Charles made a comment on how Cardano is seeking inspiration by looking at the Polkadot's parachain model, which he could potentially use it in the Cardano ecosystem itself. So again, there are lots of things to learn from these three geniuses, and the way they approach the blockchain solution, the blockchain problems that we are currently facing when it comes to scalability and composability is very interesting, and they're doing a good job in their own way. So there's no one size fits all, and I believe that all these three projects will be extremely successful. Just because Ethereum has a first mover advantage, I don't think that Polkadot and Cardano are going to be left behind. I think once Polkadot and Cardano's ecosystem goes live, I think all these three blockchains, not only will they be competing, but they'll also be working together in order to solve critical problems in the real world, right? Especially when it comes to dethroning the centralized banks and bringing in DeFi to the masses, right? So, in an interview for CoinMarketCap's Crypto Titans series, Hoskinson said that he got involved in cryptocurrencies back in 2011 and dabbled in mining and trading. He explained that his first professional involvement in the industry came in 2013 when he created a course about Bitcoin that ended up being taken by 80,000 students. Again, this paragraph talks about some of the interviews that Hoskinson had with CoinMarketCap's Crypto Titan series. So again, they have a hyperlink here which you can click and go follow that as well. But overall, he came into contact with cryptocurrencies back in 2011, and you can also search for Charles's videos where he talks about how he got into cryptocurrencies on YouTube, and it's very fascinating, and he explains it with such such intense excitement that you will definitely like that video, and you'll probably get some inspiration from his videos as well, right? But overall, about 80,000 students ended up taking his Bitcoin course in 2013, which is something that's a very notable information, because 80,000 students got exposed to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and possibly even Cardano as well, in 2013, right? As well as being a technology entrepreneur, Hoskinson is also a mathematician. In 2020, his technology company donated ADA worth $500,000 to the University of Wyoming's Blockchain Research and Development Labs. Again, apart from being an entrepreneur, he's also a mathematician, so he knows the mathematical ins and outs of certain systems. And DeFi, if you guys don't really know, requires computational capabilities as well as mathematical knowledge in order to execute complex smart contract transactions. And since Charles has a mathematics background, in many regards, people would say that he's an expert mathematician himself. There is a lot of excitement on how projects that approach Cardano's blockchain will be functioning, because if you have a strong mathematical basis, then the dApps that you'll be finding on Cardano will be, is expected to be extremely good, right? In 2020, he also donated ADA worth $500,000 for blockchain research to the University of Wyoming's research and development lab for blockchain, and that's one of his many contributions, right? So again, now going to the Cardano project itself and what makes Cardano very unique. Again, there are numerous smart contract blockchains, especially since late 2020, early 2021, we are seeing numerous blockchains. One classic example is Binance Smart Chain, or even Avalanche for that matter. They're all extremely popular, and they do their own thing, trying to make it easier for people to access DeFi and NFTs and so on and so forth. So amongst this competition, Cardano technically doesn't really have a fully functional ecosystem yet. So why would you put your money in Cardano? This section talks about that. So Cardano is one of the biggest blockchains to successfully use a proof of stake consensus mechanism, which is less energy intensive than the proof of work algorithm relied upon by Bitcoin. Although the much larger Ethereum is going to be upgrading to proof of stake, this transition is only going to take place gradually. So again, I think this paragraph kind of talks about how Cardano is better when it comes to Bitcoin and Ethereum, because even though Bitcoin is a legacy cryptocurrency, you can't really compare Bitcoin with Cardano, because Bitcoin does its own thing. It's proof of work, and the strength of Bitcoin is in the fact that it is a store of value. But at the same time, if you compare Cardano with Ethereum, which is basically the most popular comparison that people make with Cardano and Ethereum, Ethereum is obviously trying to transition to proof of stake, but Cardano is already in proof of stake, right? But Ethereum has a fully functional ecosystem while Cardano doesn't. So instead of trying to compare Cardano with Ethereum, I probably myself, again, based on whatever research I've done so far, I would compare Cardano with, ecosystems such as, Polkadot, Avalanche, and all these kind of other next generation projects that are only starting to appear recently, right? Even though Polkadot is one of the most coolest projects that I've seen and it's one of my favorite projects, it is a recent project that only kind of like went live last year. But Cardano has been in around 2017, and they've kind of like mastered the proof of stake in such a way that proof of stake, is much more efficiently used in the Cardano ecosystem than in several other blockchains, right? One example is that Cardano is one of the most decentralized blockchains. In fact, it is the most decentralized blockchain because I think over 75% of Cardano tokens are staked in a fully decentralized manner, which shows that the Cardano community has definitely embraced Cardano and they have seen Cardano for what it is, which projects like Polkadot and Kusama and several other proof of stake blockchains are only starting to realize recently, right? So I think that's personally my biggest impression on Cardano, and that's one of the reasons why I feel like Cardano is way ahead of the league. Although it's not fully functional yet, it has implemented things that other blockchains are only starting to implement recently, right? The project has taken pride in ensuring that all of the technology developed goes through the process of peer-reviewed research, meaning that bold ideas can be challenged before they are validated. According to the Cardano team, this academic rigor helps the blockchain to be durable and stable, increasing the chance that potential pitfalls can be anticipated in advance. Again, this is basically a double-edged sword for Cardano, because if you see, projects like Ethereum, they have this approach of do it and then if there's an issue, fix it while the project is live, right? It's a different approach, which again, some people like and some people don't like, but Cardano is trying to use an academic method where they want to publish research articles which not only have a rigorous peer review process in place, but also prevents any form of application to go, any form of update to go live before it's published and before it's rigorously tested in a scientific environment, right? Many people think that this is a very silly approach, like real life finance doesn't really have to be real life applications don't really have to be tested. You can test it as you go. And people who are impatient are basically not understanding that this is another different approach that Cardano is using, which I think is really good, because now you have a project such as Ethereum that's do as you go kind of method, and many projects actually follow Ethereum's method. We don't really have a lot of projects that use Cardano's approach, and Cardano being its own kind of like creating its own kind of path and approaching problems in its own kind of way. I think it's really impressive that Cardano is trying to use peer-reviewed research approach in order to successfully implement aspects of it that will be successful in the future, right? Because if you think about it, yes, it's slow. Yes, it's definitely not the most ideal case for people who want to see Cardano smart contracts live, but the anticipation is building so much, and these peer-reviewed methods are going to create a lot of hype, and they're going to be tested rigorously in a laboratory environment, that this project can definitely succeed with high levels of certainty, right? And that's basically what Cardano is aiming for. They just don't want to jump into the water and learn to swim. They just want to train as much as they can before they can swim, and while they're swimming, they'll mainly focus on the goal and not trying to optimize anything, because all the optimization is already done in the lab, right? So I personally like this approach. Many people may not like this approach. Many people may think that, you have to see projects that are very recent that are already live, but Cardano that has existed since 2017 is not really live yet. I think yes, you can't really put everything in one single box just because you want it to be like that. I think Cardano has to be perfect in its own regard, and I think the founders and the developers wanted to take a very unique approach, and I like the uniqueness of this project, right? There's no rush to bring DeFi to Cardano, so as long as they provide a very high quality functional smart contract blockchain which will literally solve problems that they claim to solve, that's basically what matters, right? It doesn't matter whether they launch some meme coin based DeFi platform that can potentially rug pull and with a lot of bugs and with a lot of speed and transaction fees issues and all that stuff, right? So I think Cardano is doing its own thing, and I only ask people who are critics of Cardano to take a look at things outside of the box, which is basically what Cardano is doing, right? In 2020, Cardano held a Shelley upgrade that aimed to make its blockchain 50 to 100 times more decentralized than other larger blockchains. At the time, Hoskinson predicted that this would pave the way for hundreds of assets to run on its network. So again, this is talking about the recent upgrade, Shelley upgrade that they had. I think Gauguin is currently going to go live, and I think once the smart contract ecosystem within Cardano goes live by the end of this year, there'll be a lot more anticipation and a lot more excitement, right? Which will also potentially drive the price of this token up. So how is the Cardano network secured? Again, a very important question that people would ask. Cardano is secured through an environmentally sustainable, verifiable, secure proof of stake protocol that's known as Ouroboros. So again, if I spell this name wrong, I'm extremely sorry, but at the same time, the main point is it's secured due to its proof of stake consensus mechanism. And the one key thing about Cardano's proof of stake that we have to definitely highlight is it's environmentally sustainable. Again, yes, it's a project that's not fully live, but it is taking the right approach in making itself environmentally sustainable while also trying to do scientific, tested scientific methods to create a peer-reviewed project that can sustain itself in the long run, right? So again, that's basically one of the main highlights of Cardano. The project says that Ouroboros improves upon the security guarantees that are delivered by a proof of work consensus mechanism while using substantially less power, claiming that it is 4 times more energy efficient than Bitcoin. Again, any projects that you take these days are way more efficient than Bitcoin because they all by default use proof of stake or some other modified version of proof of stake in order to make itself more sustainable and secure. But at the same time, Cardano has done this quite earlier, and therefore it's much more secure than Bitcoin. It's also one of the most decentralized blockchains out there. It is described as a blend of unique technology and mathematically verified mechanisms with behavioral psychology and economic philosophy thrown in for good measure. Overall, the objective of Ouroboros is to achieve sustainable and ethical growth. So again, they're trying to not only incorporate sustainability when it comes to environmental issues, but they're also trying to include philosophical reasoning and methods in order to make it ethically good as well. So I think Cardano is much more than just a technology. It's also a philosophical role model for other blockchains to follow, right? An incentive mechanism means that participants in the network are rewarded for their involvement. So again, by staking your Cardano on the Cardano blockchain, not only are you securing the network and making the system more decentralized, you are also participating actively in the network and making sure that the network is successful in the long run, right? And making it much more sustainable for the future. So again, that's basically the overview of Cardano. It's a very interesting project. I'm personally in love with this project. I think this project has a lot of room to succeed once its ecosystem fully goes live. If you can see that this project is already in the top 10 even before it has a fully functional ecosystem, you can only imagine what it will do once its smart contract platform goes live. And I'm extremely impressed by the support that the Cardano community is giving. And Cardano is only going to be a prime competitor not only for the Ethereum blockchain but also for multiple other smart contract blockchains, right? So if you want to learn more about Cardano, I suggest you guys to go to the cardano.org website and to learn more about this project. I'm not going to go through this website today because again, it's pretty much the same information that we covered. If you see, they have a lot of other information which will definitely help you to do your own in-depth analysis before you invest in this project, right? But I'm going to cover this interesting-facts.com facts about Cardano. I'll quickly run through this. So Cardano Coin started with a goal to be a different cryptocurrency. Again, as we discussed right now, Cardano is not a project just like any other blockchain project. It has its goal. Its main goal is to bring stability to countries that can't have financial stability because of its political or geopolitical nature in the world right now. And Cardano aims to bring high quality financial infrastructure to countries, especially in countries like Africa, where people don't really have the economic means or financial ecosystem developed from their government, right? So it's a project that has a genuine good cause, and that makes it extremely unique compared to several other cryptocurrency projects, right? Cardano Coin revolutionizes and pushes forward blockchain technology. Again, this is not necessarily a fact. It's something that everybody knows, and again, every single project claims to do this, but I personally believe that Cardano is actually doing this, especially with their peer-reviewed scientific approach, where they are clearly trying to do something extremely scientific rather than taking a hit or miss approach like many other blockchains, right? Cardano Coin got its name from an Italian Renaissance. Again, this is a very interesting tidbit. Again, if you want to know which specific Renaissance reference that this is making to, you can click on this link. But the name Cardano is inspired from the Italian Renaissance period, right? Cardano Coin as the best for the environment among all crypto coins. Again, Cardano has mainly focused on long-term sustainability, and therefore it's one of the most environmentally friendly projects in the crypto space right now. And that's also one of the reasons why people speculate that Tesla and Elon Musk would potentially buy Cardano in the future, specifically because of how environmentally sustainable this project is, right? Which is a good thing, right? Cardano Coin has a limited supply that is set at a specific amount. Again, the English is all weird in this sentence, but again, ignore that, but the facts are really good. So yes, Cardano has a very high total supply, max supply, and its circulating supply is also quite high, but it does have a limited supply. So it's not an inflationary cryptocurrency like Ethereum 1.0. It is also not a deflationary currency, which means there is no burning mechanism. So, but Cardano is a fixed supply cryptocurrency that has a limited supply, and I think Cardano is approaching its max supply pretty soon, and once it does that, there won't be any more new Cardano tokens or coins minted in the ecosystem, right? So that's very interesting. The purpose of ADA and how it relates to Cardano. So again, this is not necessarily a fact. Again, if you click on this, you'll get more information about this, but Cardano as a project has a very unique relationship with the token ADA itself, which is the native token of the blockchain, because you can technically mint other cryptocurrencies on Cardano, I think at this stage, but you don't necessarily need to use ADA to pay your gas fees on Cardano. So that's both a good thing and a bad thing, in the sense that when it comes to ADA's price appreciation potential, its utility is kind of constrained because of the lack of gas utility necessary. Just like how Ether is used on Ethereum, you don't necessarily need Cardano to act on DeFi within the Cardano blockchain, right? Which is in a way a hindrance to the project, but it's also a unique way of Cardano trying to publicize itself as a versatile DeFi project where you can bring your own gas instead of like just using ADA, right? Cardano works in a unique and different way compared to other cryptocurrencies. Again, it works on a proof of stake mechanism, and as we discussed, it kind of ties into the research, peer-reviewed research approach that Cardano is taking. So that can also tie in with this kind of like this fact, right? Cardano Coin brings together a diverse group of people advocating positivity. So again, the word positivity may sound like a scammy word in crypto, because again, if you don't have any use cases for your cryptocurrency, the only thing that you can advertise is you can say this cryptocurrency brings positivity to the world, right? But in the case of Cardano, they genuinely want to bring positivity in the sense that they want to make financial progress in countries that don't have the financial means, and they're basically relying on bringing in people from a diverse group of communities to the Cardano blockchain, right? Cardano Coin has been able to innovate by a unique programming language. Again, that's one of the plus and minuses of the Cardano blockchain. Even though they are using their own unique language, it will be hard in a way for people to use Cardano, because most developers know Solidity, and there are a lot of people who are learning Substrate. So Cardano's native language is another kind of barrier that Cardano may potentially face in the future. But I believe that once Cardano starts realizing that, they will start updating and maybe make their programming language much more similar to Solidity and Substrate, so that people with these backgrounds can also use Cardano and program on Cardano, right? Buying Cardano Coin is different from other cryptocurrencies. Again, this is also kind of vague, it's not necessarily a fact, but you can read through this in detail if you want. Cardano has its own wallet, unlike many of the other cryptocurrencies. Again, if you see, this is obviously true for many legacy cryptocurrencies, but for many new cryptocurrencies, you can clearly see that there's a lot of tokens. Even yesterday, we covered a coin called Coin98, which was launched through Binance's Launchpad, and it has its own wallet, a decentralized exchange, and much more, right? And that token comes with its own wallet as well. So for the more newer generation cryptocurrencies, I think they come with their own wallet, DEX, bridge, and so on and so forth. But Cardano was one of the first projects to come with its own wallet, and it's one of the first and the most earliest known project that allowed for staking within its own wallet in order to secure the blockchain, right? So again, these are some of the tidbits or some of the quick facts about Cardano. I know many people already know about these facts, but I just want to share this with you guys just to kind of like make the process of digesting this project much more easier, especially for newcomers, right? So going back to the CoinMarketCap page, this token is currently ranked number 5th on CoinMarketCap based on its market cap, and is currently trading at $1.27 at the time I'm making this video, with a 0.21% increase in the past 24 hours. Again, not a big rise, but a decent, a pretty decent action compared to the stock market, right? Its market cap is $40.7 billion. Again, you have to understand that this token doesn't really have a fully functional ecosystem yet, and it's still a market cap. It still has a market cap of $40.7 billion, right? So many critics would say that this is an overpriced cryptocurrency which doesn't really have a functional ecosystem, and by the time, and many people say that there's not a lot of projects that want to build on top of Cardano, just like how many projects are looking to build on top of Ethereum and Polkadot. So obviously those are all valid concerns, but at the same time, if you see, even before the ecosystem goes live, you have such huge number of followers, and this community is extremely strong. You can only imagine that eventually when smart contracts start going live on Cardano, Cardano has a lot of good things about it that many different projects don't have. Let's say, for example, it's specifically focused on environmental sustainability, right? This is going to attract several institutions and, again, big dApps, dApp developers to migrate their dApps to Cardano. There will be several overlapping dApps that exist on Ethereum, Polkadot, and Cardano, which will bring a lot of traction to Cardano. There are also big institutions such as Tesla and many other companies that may potentially prefer to build, to work with Cardano or to even build on top of Cardano a system that will, promote more environmental sustainability. So I think once the full ecosystem goes live, I believe that the market cap is only going to go higher, right? Even though in the crypto space, $40.7 billion in market cap may seem higher, I think in the grand scheme of things, $40.7 billion is a drop in the bucket in the entire traditional financial ecosystem, right? Cardano has the capability not only to bridge assets but also to be interoperable with multiple different blockchains, which is going to eventually drag a lot of dApps, high quality dApps on top of Cardano. Their NFT ecosystem, I believe, is already live, but eventually as the ecosystem starts fully rolling out its full capabilities, I think the market cap has only one direction to go, which is an upward direction, right? And obviously there will be a lot of irrational exuberance at first, but once that all fades away, the Cardano market cap will probably cross the $100 billion, and that will probably be the beginning of the success that Cardano has coming for it, right? So if you take the max supply, the token has 45 billion tokens in max supply. Again, quite a lot, but it is an ecosystem blockchain token. So the coin itself having a lot of the coin itself having a high supply is not really a bad thing for a blockchain project. There are blockchain projects that have trillions of tokens as max supply, but if you see, the circulating supply is 32.04 billion tokens, which is 71% of the total token supply, which means there's about 71% of the total tokens in circulation. And again, bear in mind that this is one of the most decentralized and highly staked tokens, which means most of the 71% of the circulating supply is already staked. And as more people start buying Cardano, they would only like to see long-term sustainability and passive income opportunities from Cardano, which is somewhere around 4 to 7%, depending on the network's staking activity. So you are definitely guaranteed to get somewhere between 5 to 6% on yearly APY, which is a really big deal for people who choose to have a token that has existed since 2017, which offers passive income by staking, and which also has its smart contract ecosystem going live anytime by the end of this year. So there are a lot of people who would prefer to buy Cardano because, again, lots of retail investors will see Cardano's price point and see, okay, it's a cheap cryptocurrency that has a potential to do multiple X's and even reach levels that Bitcoin is right now, right? Although that may or may not be the case, because again, in order to push the price of Cardano, there needs to be a lot of money. The market cap has to increase substantially in order to make Cardano go anywhere close to the dollar value of Bitcoin, right? But that's still not going to prevent new retail investors from buying Cardano because of its extremely cheap price point, which will make a lot of people buy Cardano and stake it and maybe even participate in Cardano's DeFi platform, right? Again, I know all of these are speculations at this time, but I think Cardano has a good tokenomics. It's extremely decentralized. Most of its tokens are extremely staked in a decentralized manner. And once the DeFi ecosystem in Cardano starts going live, the price can only pump more, right? So that's just my personal opinion. And also, one thing that we haven't really covered about Cardano, which I'll cover by the end of this video, is its presence in multiple other blockchains, right? So before we go on to that, let's go to the charts. If you see, the price information for Cardano was available since October 3rd of 2017 coin market cap, when the token price was 2 cents, and then it immediately shot up to all-time highs of $1.07 January 2018, and then crashed down, and it was pretty much in the kind of like it was moving sideways at a price point of about somewhere between 6 to 8 cents per token for a very long time, until the start of this year, when the token price went from about 10 cents, 10 to 15 cents, all the way to an all-time highs of about, I believe it's close to $2.30 or $2.35 kind of all-time highs, and then it's it went down quite a bit before touching its relative lows of about $1 and slightly over $1, and now it seems to be rebounding, right? So if you take the price chart of Cardano, you can clearly see that the token hasn't really done a lot. This is also because of the slow development that Cardano has had, but it is consistently, like making progress with its smart contract ecosystem. And once its ecosystem goes live, you won't expect to see this token below $1, right? So if you're buying this token at this price point and you are basically locking it or staking it for 5 to 10 years, then it's a project that will give you some really good returns, especially after its ecosystem goes live. But if you're looking for short-term price trading, then I would probably suggest you to wait, because there will be opportunities to buy this token close to $1, and this is not the opportunity right now. You can clearly see that the price is rebounding upwards, which means you have to wait till it goes back to the $1, $1.10, that range, in order to dollar cost average into this project, right? For this price point, I would probably suggest you to wait. Again, not financial advice, please do your own research. But if you take the Bitcoin comparative, on the other hand, again, the token has made some serious gains in 2017, immediately after its launch. So in 2017, October, this token was worth 482 Satoshis per token, and during the all-time highs of about close to 7,500 Satoshis per token during early 2018 January, right? And then since then, the token price had been at times volatile, but overall in a downward trajectory. It touched its all-time kind of lows at around 4,600 Satoshis per token, and then during the recent rally, the token didn't really cross its previous all-time highs in the Bitcoin comparative, but it touched the 4,500 Satoshis per token mark, and now it's kind of like going in a downward trajectory because Bitcoin itself is trying to go upwards, right? So when it comes to Bitcoin comparative, you can clearly see that this token price is going down. So I would expect this token price to go down as Bitcoin goes up, because money usually goes from the altcoins to Bitcoin when Bitcoin is pumping, and the vice versa when Bitcoin is dumping, right? So if you see the Bitcoin price comparative can go even lower, I would suspect that this token can go below the 3,000 Satoshis mark, which would be a good buy opportunity. But for now, for dollar comparative and Bitcoin comparative, I'd kind of wait a bit, right? But if you see, the token can definitely make new all-time highs, because it previously made an all-time highs of close to 7,500 Satoshis, which is a good opportunity for people to make some really good gains. But if you're hodling this token for long term, then buying at this token price is not really an issue, because if you want to hold this token for 5 to 10 years, like in and around the range, then you're pretty much good, right, with this price point itself. So if you take the markets, again, this token has a lot of liquidity and a lot of depth in several different exchanges. It also got listed on Coinbase a few months back, and that kind of made Cardano one of the most popular tokens for a while. It also kind of like is available on pretty much all the tier 1 exchanges that you can see, and you can also buy this from several other exchanges as well. But if you can buy this from Binance and Coinbase and Kraken and Huobi Global, then there's no other reason for you to buy it from some other exchanges, right? But overall, what's my final verdict on this token, guys? I think this token is probably one of the most critically criticized token or project out there, because it's quite slow. Again, there's no real rush in implementing DeFi. DeFi is here to stay, and I think that it's only going to be a matter of time before centralized finance starts crumbling down. And I think Cardano, Polkadot, Ethereum are some of the major projects that will help in bringing the centralized ecosystem down. But for now, we have to kind of like, we can only have the option of buying Cardano, staking it, and earning staking rewards. Once the smart contract ecosystem goes live, I can see this token easily crossing the $5 range easily, and by the end of this bull run, this token also has a potential to cross the $10 range. Again, I know that's some ridiculous numbers, but trust me, the community is extremely strong, and the community has been waiting since 2017 to see the ecosystem go live. Once it goes live, I'm pretty sure that this token can easily touch the $10 mark by the end of this bull run, and the long-term price potential for this token is somewhere between $10 to $20 or even $30 in that range, depending on how many institutions starts adopting this token, how this token aims to bridge the gap between third world countries when it comes to finances and the first world countries. So I think based on the progress that this token is making, this coin is making in several countries in Africa, especially Ethiopia, I think this token has a huge potential, not only in these countries, but also in the global financial ecosystem, right? And this token is one of the most philosophically stronger tokens with an actual, probable use case when it comes to solving some real world problems. And that's basically the strength of this token that makes it extremely unique and enticing for people who have philanthropic natures on them. It's also a token that is a good investment as well for people who want to hodl this token for at least 5 to 10 years period, right? And therefore, I have a decent bag of Cardano. I'm pretty sure that once the smart contract ecosystem goes live, this is going to rocket, right? Again, that's just my opinion, guys. Again, remember, guys, you guys are not regular investors. You guys are brutal investors, so stay brutal. Thank you very much for watching my video, guys. If you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more videos. See you in my next video. Bye.